ladies. Alright, let's see what we got this morning. Doesn't get fresher than that, that's for sure. Good morning, it's Kendra from Mellow Haven Homestead. I'm just giving you guys an update on what's happening around here. It's been about a week. The last time we had an update, I told you about how one of our little chicks had lower energy than the other one. I'm gonna get out of that light, it's awfully bright. I'm not used to the sun. One of the little chicks is definitely ill. There's something wrong with her. She's got very low energy and she's kind of huddled away from everybody. I thought maybe she was injured by one of the other chickens, but they've been very loving with them. I came in the other day and I couldn't find the babies and they were huddled underneath one of the teenager chickens, so she was being like a mama and she was all fluffed out and being really sweet with them. And I've watched them for hours over this past week and they are so good with them. So I don't think it was that. If it was unintentional. But I'm gonna go in there right now and take a peek. Hi girls. That little chick is on her side now and she's breathing really heavily and that just breaks my heart. I don't know what to do with her. I mean, oh, there you go. You're moving now? Yeah, she just kind of sits there. She's probably dehydrated. I've put her over by the water a few times and she won't really drink. Oh, baby. If you guys have any experience with lethargic chicks or if there's something you think I should check, let me know. Comment below. I do know that it's common to lose chicks. I just never had it happen, so I feel kind of sad about it. Also this week, if you remember the other chicken I was telling you about that was bleeding out of her vent and we had cleaned her up and it looked like she had been maybe attacked by another chicken. We came out here the day after I gave a video update and she was in the run on the ground, just completely almost unconscious, and she had a prolapsed vent, so almost like her entire intestines were out of her and she just was suffering, so we had to put her down. These problems with the chickens are really making me think about our future animals here on the homestead. How this is affecting me is making me question, like, if I can do meat rabbits. I mean, maybe I'll get used to it, I don't know. I'm just all set with death and sickness. I'm just sick of it, honestly. So I'm gonna focus on the life and wonderful things that are sprouting up in the garden and all the blessings that we have and not focus on the negative. So on a lighter note, we can go check out the garden. We've been really busy out here, getting a lot done, getting a lot planted. So right when we walk in, you can see I have a trellis now, and we're gonna do some cucumbers there, like in the front right here, and just have them grow up and over. And I'd like to try pickling them. The kids love cucumbers and they love pickles, so I feel like, you know, we could probably do like, a whole bunch of plants, just fill up that whole trellis. And then over here, we're gonna do a bunch of tomato plants, probably some sauce tomatoes and cherry and grape. The kids love to come out and pick them. We grew them last year. So this first bed is gonna be all chard, Swiss chard, and kale. I'm gonna put a few kale plants on the raised parts of the rows. And then on the trellis here, we're gonna do some black beans. I really am disoriented with the pointing. So there and there. Here, we're gonna do some yellow wax beans, spinach right here, just on the end. It's already started to grow. Spinach does really good up here in the cold weather. Here at this bed, we've got all spinach, and then I'm gonna plant some eggplant like in between over here. So if you can like see where I am, the gate's over there. And I'm gonna do broccoli all in here, but you know what? The broccoli is not growing very fast. This little guy, and then one over there, and like a few. So I might end up planting something else in the rest of the bed. I got some okra seeds, so I might do that for the first time. So we've got the greenhouse here, and we've got another bed over here. Zucchini and summer squash over here, and maybe use this trellis for one of them. I don't have any more trellis material left. These were cattle panels, the 16-foot cattle panels that we trimmed down so they could fit in the minivan. We don't have a truck, and so that's what we used all through the garden. We built this little trellis with those cattle panels. This is going to be like butternut squash, different kinds of squash. I'm going to see how that works with them hanging. I'll try to like train them so that the fruit hangs in the middle so that it's easily picked and maybe protected. I don't know, but I like the idea of it. Over here, I'm gonna plant some peppers that my sweet neighbor gave me, just right in here. And then, so if we face the entranceway, we've got this big arbor here. I'm really excited about this. I've kind of dreamed about having an arbor like this for the kids to play under for a long time. We're planning on planting some Blue Lake pulled beans like on both sides, and just hoping they'll just grow completely up and over, and creating a nice wide tunnel for the kids to play in this summer. Over here, if we go back to the tilled beds, so we've got potatoes here. I have some red basic potatoes, some purple potatoes, and I had a whole bunch of purple potatoes, but I left them to sit too long in the greenhouse, and they got like hard, unrecognizable, like I just let them sit too long. I only had a few of those salvageable, so that's what's planted here. So anyway, I'm gonna do the covering method with the straw. So as they grow and they get about this big, you want to cover them with straw or mulch or whatever you're using, and then it'll keep growing. And so every like 6 inches, I guess, you just keep covering it and leaving just a couple leaves at the top, and it'll just keep going, and it'll create more and more potatoes. So I've only grown potatoes one other time. They didn't do great, but I think I left them, they got too tall before I started covering them, and I think that's important to kind of stay on that. So we'll try again this year. Over here, we have cabbage. So this whole patch with like the little circles, that's all cabbage. And down this row, we've got scallions, and then, oopsie. This whole bed is probably my favorite part of the garden right now. Look at those beautiful rows. I love them. I love that you can see where they pop up. How long can you sit and stare at onions? This is partly why I did this channel, because I feel like not a lot of people that I know are like made so joyful by this. Like just a row of onions. I'm so excited about that. That's why I'm hoping you guys are finding some enjoyment in this as much as I am. I have carrots at the beginning of this row, and then the rest of it is radishes. So I planted a lot of radishes. I don't love them, but I recently tried a recipe where you peel them and then roast them like potatoes, and they are so good. I'm gonna try other recipes with them and see if they're good. And I know they grow really easily, so it'll be a nice crop to have. I'm realizing that I hate having a packet of seeds and not using them all. You know, I wanna make sure that they don't go to waste, and that's kind of tricky when you have limited space, or you run out, or you know, you have a packet with 200 marigold seeds. Like, you can't plant them all. In the spirit of trying not to waste the seeds, I had a packet of peas, and I figured I would maybe try to put them along the fence of the garden and have them grow up the fence. They only grow 2 to 4 feet, it said. And so I thought, well, that's a lot of space that's not being used. Let's try it. And so what we're gonna do is plant them, you know, sporadically down, and then mix them with morning glories. So when it gets a little warmer and it's time to plant morning glories, we can, you know, kind of alternate them. And so when the peas start to die in, you know, midsummer, the morning glories will be in full effect, and so they'll kind of take over and fill in where the peas were. That's my hope. I don't know if that'll turn out like that, but we'll see. So I did plant all the peas, and I'm waiting for them to sprout. There are 2 things about this property that are probably my favorite things. One of them is this beautiful flowering, I think it's a Japanese cherry. The other thing that I love are peonies. Now, I didn't even know what peonies were, but when they started blooming here, I looked them up, and I think they are just so gorgeous. I didn't realize that they are a little temperamental. You have to be really careful. They don't like being transplanted. They take a while to bloom, and so they're kind of picky, and they don't bloom unless they're happy. I love them so much. These are pink, and you can see the tiny little bud right there. Now, black ants will be crawling all over them, and they actually work in a symbiotic relationship with the peonies. So I read that they eat away at a chemical coating that covers the buds, and I've also heard that they just take care of other pests or something. But I just know that if you see the black ants on the peonies, that's a good thing, and just leave them. I'm in the front yard now, and if you remember, I was going to plant some blueberries in the front. So since that video, we have done a lot of work and fixed the rock wall bed. We still have to plant the blueberries. They're just kind of laying there, queued up. Yeah, it's exciting. That's our next step. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for following along. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on all the updates here in the homestead. All right, talk to you later. Bye.